right, as well.
Yeah, it will win.
It must be
no, but
winning,
the
right?
queens are very important. That the queen and the knight combo can create magic, and Parham has to. So in fact, it is much more dramatic than we thought. Magnus Carlsen knows what he's doing. Yeah, he is not afraid that it looks strange or dangerous or whatever. He believes in his calculation. Well, he wasn't so sure. He's down to 12 minutes himself. Apparently, knight b2, knight b3 check, king c2, knight a1, and then white has a choice. Rook takes a1 and then pick up the h7 pawn, play that ending, or to try to run with the king to d2, giving all the pawns. But this is so hard to evaluate and calculate. I would think that rook a1 is almost guaranteed.
That he gives up the rook,
yes.
right?
Yeah, it's kind of guaranteed.
Because then, in that ending, when you win on h7, you can park the queen on b1 and put the pawn on h7, and you're solid as a rock there.
Well, if you get the pawn to h7, no, but I will not let that happen. Something has to happen.
Maybe you have no choice.
Parham down to 2 minutes 20 seconds, and we know that he only has the move. But first of all, he might be playing for a win. He might think like, wait a second, it can't be that Magnus gets away with this.
And he also has the option of giving check on a1.
But that's losing. Then king c2, queen a4 check, king d2.
And then putting, and then knight c4 check.
Yes, and king e1.
Yes, and then playing something.
And play that position,
and just go like, not queen a5. I would love to swing the queen over somehow, but maybe there's no good way to... Yeah, if I could get my queen on g5 there, I'm just winning, basically, as black.
And Parham looking at it, staring at it, calculating like a machine, like a crazy madman, because he knows it can't be that this is not okay for me. It should be okay, but how? And there are so many distractions, so many possibilities, so many tempting options. That's the trick. That's actually the problem. Poor Parham. He's in a very tricky spot. In a very tricky spot. Will he find the move? It's on the board. Knight b3 check, king c2, so he's going along the correct lines. He also has a choice. There is queen a4 and knight a1. Actually, queen a4 is so much more human.
Yeah, queen
I would advocate for queen a4, but yes, on the board. Yeah, Parham is Parham, just brilliant. This is the human way. You don't want to get into this knight a1, rook a1 endgame against Magnus. No. You want to keep the initiative.
You can throw in the check now on d5. I think that makes sense.
Okay, but then the queen will be already more mobile from black's perspective, right? Yeah, but where do we hide the king?
The problem is you don't have a safety square for the king.
That's a very, very big question.
Maybe king c5. I know it looks insane, but there are no checks.
Well, can you get away with king c5? Because I can... okay, d5 check will be played. We will find out.
I would put the king on c5 here. I don't like the idea of going back, allowing queen takes pawn with check.
With check. Yeah, it's kind of very tough.
I think he's going up. I mean, I think if you've got 1 minute on your clock here, you go up the board. And then pray. You've got a double discovered check. Knight d4 check is a winning thread, by the way, for black. Well, close to winning. Yes, winning.
Yeah, Parham down to a minute.
You just go king
on the
c5.
clock. It's such a tough decision.
You go king c5. But it's not, so it's probably losing, but I don't understand why it's losing. I don't understand why king c5 is losing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit worried that I don't have access to my mouse at the moment, so I can't make a move. But anyway, we don't need to make a move. Parham is down to 30 seconds, and he needs to make a decision.
He's going to step up to c5.
A very difficult decision.
Awful spot. This is the worst spot in chess right here.
Yeah, 20 seconds, and you have 3 different options. And he goes king c5.
Yeah.
He's playing the most aggressive, the most human move, which is apparently, according to computer, the wrong move. But who would have ever played king d7, king c7, stepping into the check with queen h7?
But the point here is that after queen takes h7, there isn't a good discovery. Knight d4 check, king d2, and importantly, the queen on h7 covers
guards the
c2
square. Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's so brutal. And if king d2, knight e4, king e1...
But, well, actually, Magnus played the move d5, so I can't really imagine him going king b1, because now there is also queen e4 check. Yeah,
well, you can repeat. So, oh yeah, queen e4 as well.
Yeah, also, I mean, there are too many problems. On the other hand, okay, queen takes h7, he has 12 minutes when he started to think. He most probably will take on h7.
He will take on h7, 100%. 100%. And then what? You've got this discovered check, but you can't do anything with it. What is your move there?
Well,
and by the way, queen c7 is a winning threat.
Yeah, queen c7. Well, that's why I was a little bit skeptical of this king c5. Yeah, that we are stepping into queen c7 checkmate. Well, it's not checkmate. We have king b5, but then the d6 knight is hanging, so it's basically a loss.
But by the way, ironically, it's if you play queen takes h7 and you go queen c7 check, king d7, king b5. With that construction, it's probably still a draw after queen takes d6, knight d4.
Well,
check.
but okay, I have queen c6 check. I can trade the queen. I'm already completely winning. Yes,
course,
exactly. Yeah. So the point is that okay, maybe after queen h7 you should. Yeah, and Magnus picks it up.
Yeah.
Magnus is Magnus, doesn't see ghosts.
Yeah.
Black will have to play king b6.
Impossible move.
Well, but queen c7 is a threat. If there is no discover check, then of course I want to keep the status quo because White's king is still in the danger zone.
Impossible move. Brilliant move, but I find this move impossible that he's going to find it in 20 seconds.
He needs to find. He needs to find it.
16 seconds, Parham Magsudlu. He's going to find it.
Yes, brilliant. King b6. Okay. You just said Magnus is Magnus with queen takes h7. Well, king b6. Parham is showing once again, and it's completely crazy, it's completely insane, because according to computer, if you play now the move queen g6, king c7, then for some reason this is a winning construction. Before, computer was saying after d5 check, king c7, queen takes h7, king c8 is a draw, because the queen is on h7 instead of g6, and White can push the pawn to h6. But okay, with ticking seconds, this is just impossible to understand. Intuitively, you don't want to place on your king on the back rank.
Correct.
That's you feel like that's taboo. You just can't do that. What Magsudlu is doing is the human reaction.
Unbelievable. What a game.
Yeah, it's the game of the tournament. We have witnessed brilliant games, everything, but this back and forth, yeah, this is what makes it special. And that's why also the game between Magnus Carlsen and Hikaru Nakamura, the first game of the final in Paris, was such a fantastic game. Forget about the result, forget about the final mistake by Hikaru. Just the game, the intensity, that's what counts. And this is what we are seeing here. And the tension.
Yeah, the tension is the tough part. And if you're Parham, the tension, I mean, the issue is really being able to calculate cleanly with 40 seconds.
Yeah, it's completely crazy. We are getting the message there done that David Anton Giharo is apparently winning against Niemann. And queen g6 played.
Good move.
Queen g6 is the good move, yes. Now,
maybe
king c5 or king c7, he can put it back
on c5, yeah.
Yes.
It feels more natural than putting it on c7 because it feels like the king is more exposed on c7 to check. But then again, it's so hard to know which of those moves is correct.
And wait a second, that can white then after king c5 just play h6? Does he have the right to just push? Down to 10 seconds. Parham has to make a decision.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2. He's going to flag. He flagged.
He flagged. Oh no.
He flagged.
Wow.
He flagged.
Magnus very relieved.
He put it on b5 anyway, which loses, but he's upset.
Yeah, okay, you just can't play this position with so little time. And look at this. He enjoyed it. He knows he was so tense, but the joy that he has such a complicated position.
Wow,
what a disappointment.
He's very upset. No, he's very upset.
Very upset, yes.
He's absolutely upset. Yeah, this was.
It's like a hard. Well, actually, he will feel actually much better if he knows that he made a losing move. Actually, it will help him. It will really help him. If suddenly it would turn out that king b5 and computer says 0-0, he would just be completely done. But if he knows that this was a losing move, and already the final position was already bad. And Magnus says no, but king b5 is not. No, this king b5, I just play h6. Knight d4 check. Knight d4 check, king d2.
And then knight
d4 check. Okay, king e1.
Very tough. What a game. But were you going to give up the rook if he goes knight a1 check and go like queen?
Yeah.
Oh, you were, yeah.
Okay. But at the end, it was winning for me?
At the very end? It was starting to become winning. King c5 was a blunder.
He should have gone up to d5 check, c7, so
There's nothing I fixed it.
was according but he was playing for a win.
Yes.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy.
But
it's Parham, yeah?
Yeah.
What's the prize?
Was that ever lost?
No.
For me?
No.
No,
after queen d4 was a blunder because of knight takes c5. It was working for him.
Yeah, but I already knew that I was completely out of control. But I mean, I don't think it works after knight takes c5.
Yeah, we even did not want to turn on engines to not to be unfair. We only have to realize that g3 was causing the computer brutalist from after bishop f4. So bishop f4 was a mistake which was so strong. G3 was plus.
Okay, I didn't dare to do that.
Yeah, it was crazy. But as I said, we did not because we felt it doesn't do justice to the game. We are looking at that. Amazing game. Game because there was resistance. Yeah, there was unbelievable fight from Parham.